Hispanics and African Americans.
So everyone should get an eye exam at least every 2 years.
Especially people over 60.
You might have glaucoma and not even know it. Call 1-800-437-2423 for a free brochure from National Glaucoma Research. 1-800-437-2423.
The following program is paid for by Barbara Arnwine.
The topics, views, and opinions expressed on the air and via All Igniting Change with Barbara Arnwine, platforms by host Barbara Arnwine Esquire, guests, and supporters are their own and are independent of any organization, entity. Nothing said on the show or any of its platforms constitutes a client-attorney relationship or serves as legal advice counsel. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to Igniting Change, its platforms, or the show's host. It's time now for Igniting Change, a weekly provocative and empowering program where you, the listener, can ignite change. Now here's your host, Barbara Arnwine.
Get up, stand up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Igniting Change. Oh, we are here to talk with you because we just got back from Selma. Yes, making good trouble in the John Lewis tradition. Oh, we got so much to talk about. This is going to be a great show, and I can't even begin to talk about everything the Transformative Justice Coalition did in mighty Selma without bringing on my co-leader. You know my co-host. He is the chair of the board of directors of the Transformative Justice Coalition, and he is one of our nation's most amazing, innovative, brilliant, amazing attorneys. You know I'm talking about none other than Daryl D. Jones. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, Barbara, it must be Tuesday, must be noon Eastern Standard Time because we're talking igniting change. My goodness, Barbara, if ever our country needed a time to ignite change, It is now. And while we were down in Selma this past weekend celebrating Bloody Sunday and the march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, we not only went there to celebrate the freedoms that were fought for there in Selma, but we went there to educate. And my goodness, the Gen Zs, young millennials that showed up at our forums, and the union workers, you know, and those that were formerly incarcerated, just an incredible slate of workshops we had, success that we had. And Barbara, my goodness, I don't think anybody set it on fire more than that Gen Z panel, though.
Oh, yes. They rocked the room, a packed room, by the way, folks. So many people that they had to turn people away. Whoa, we did our best, but we were so, blessed with that event. And we didn't start on Saturday now. Let's be clear that on Friday we rocked it by supporting the Invisible Giants program, in which 12 women were recognized because of the great difference they make every day in the lives of people in Selma. And if you know Selma, Alabama, it is the fifth poorest district in the country. You will understand why it is so important for us to pour every dollar that we can into that community to help elevate the lives and the status of the people. So it was great to celebrate these amazing women who are doing just that every single day. So we not only had a program honoring these 12 amazing honorees, but we also had a what was it called, Daryl? I know that, well, let me get into the guests so they can tell us more about it, because I'm going to bring up a couple of our amazing guests. Our show today is called Righteous Incivility. Did you hear me? Righteous Incivility. The words of Al Green, righteous incivility is needed at this time. And we're going to report on the 60th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, the reintroduction of the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancements Act, and Representative Congressman Al Green's protest. And we're going to tell you about everything that we did, some of the highlights, but also we're going to share with you our actions. The first guest who I want to bring up, because we have some amazing guests. Get ready, folks. We have Jonnita Dockens. She is the executive assistant at the Transformative Justice Coalition, an amazing community organizer, one of the smartest, most amazing administrative people I've ever met in my life. She's just everything. I am just happy to bring up Jonnita Dockens. Hey, Jonnita, how are you?
Hey, Barbara. Hey, Daryl. How are you all today? I'm doing wonderful.
All right now. We also have them on the line. Eldric Coleman. He is a voting rights alumni of TJC from our class of September 2024. He is currently serving as the president. I think that's a mistake. From our class of Arizona, he is currently serving as the president of the NAACP's Alabama Youth and College Division, and he's associate justice of the Student Government Association at ASU. He's also a two-time state of Alabama NAACP Youth and College Division president. He's a recipient of the NAACP's Trailblazer Award. He's registered thousands of voters in Alabama, and he's done so much else. I am so proud and honored to welcome one of our nation's most amazing leaders, Eldric Coleman. Hello, good morning, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Barbara, and I'm glad to be here once again with you.
Well, thank you for joining us, sir. We are so honored by your presence. And this show would never be complete if we didn't have the amazing Angel Edwards. Ooh, she is an angel in every respect. And she is one of our amazing TJC voting rights alumni and fellow. And she was a leader for us this past year and helping us to put together the GOT, that is Get Out the Vote concert series for Jacksonville, Florida. And she has received a degree in political science with a double concentration in history and Africana social sciences from Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach. She is a very strong activist and member of Black Voters Matters, Liberators in Training student fellows, and she's done so much else. But we are going to get straight into this. Welcome, Angel Edwards.
Thank you. It's always an honor to be on with you all.
All right. Well, we are beyond honored to have you. And we have so many questions for all of you because you were doing it. You have, been making such a huge difference. So we want to start off with asking you a simple question, and that is, Angel and Eldric, you were both panelists for the Gen Z and Young Millennial Luncheon that we held this past weekend in Selma. Please describe to our audience, because they weren't there, describe to all our audience listening from throughout the country, what was that experience like for you to present to that packed, anxious room?
I will go and take that one. Yes, it was an honor, to be asked to be on a panel. When I walked through the room and I saw I was going to be sitting next, who I was going to be sitting next to, I was in awe myself. So I was like, oh my goodness, do I even have the qualifications to sit up here? I was like, yes, I have my training from TJC and BBM, and I am ready to lead and to show out with you guys. I was so impressed to see a group from Jacksonville, Florida there, and that meant the most to me. The 5,000 role models.
Yes,
they were there in their suits and their red ties, and I've seen them around Jacksonville, Florida, and I was so excited they got to share that moment with us. So that meant a lot to me to be able to see them there.
Wow. And Eldric,
what
was it like for you?
My experience, it was just such an amazing experience to be able to walk into the room and see so many young faces. Faces younger than mine.
Yes.
60 years ago, the majority of people that marched across that bridge were around my age or younger. So to be able to look around in that room and see that there's still a determination, a fight for the cause. It was just amazing. And I feel like the energy in that room was just unmatched. It was just unbeatable.
Absolutely. And the two of you were feeling that energy. Daryl, it was amazing to see almost 30 young people, Jonnita, who came from Georgia, from Manchester, Georgia, to join us. And they were as young, it looked like, as 10, and a whole lot of Gen Alphas who were, getting ready to vote in a couple of years. It was just amazing to look at that, wasn't it, Daryl?
Yeah, it was an incredible experience to see the folks that had gathered there. And Eldric, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, because one of the things that differentiate what TJC did in Summit and other groups is that we weren't doing a whole bunch of celebrating. We were there to celebrate, but we were also there to teach. What did it mean to you to be sitting on that panel, to have other Gen Alphas, other Gen Zs listening to your every word, having Gen Alpha listening and watching what you were doing, and then on top of that, Eldric, you had the National Youth Director of the Youth and College Division that came to the room, as well as the president himself of the NAACP, Derek Johnson. What was that like?
It was just amazing because the fact of, before coming into the room, I didn't really know who was going to be in the crowd.
Right.
I just knew that I was coming into the room to come teach and educate the next generation. And I wanted to make sure that, Gen Alpha does not come in the world with less rights than what we have now. And I feel like after leaving out of that room, that entire room will make sure that they are educating themselves to the point of where they will know when their rights are being taken away, or they will know when something is just not right or something is not constitutional.
Yes. And Jonnita, I mean, and Angel and Eldridge, what did it mean to see foot soldiers in the room also? We had all these amazing, scores of young people, but there were also foot soldiers who came into the
original
room.
Foot soldiers, Barbara, the original foot soldiers from 65 months.
Right. And folks, the Freedom Singers, Mr. Nesbitt, all these people, and Jonnita, Mr. Richard Bland, who I've seen quoted in a lot of the articles covering it, he was one of the original foot soldiers, walked right behind Dr. King and Coretta Scott King. He sat next to you out at the at our registration table for the event, and it was with us. Several events, hanging out with the Transformative Justice Coalition. What did it mean to all three of you to see the foot soldiers? Jonnita.
I would like to start first. It was absolutely an honor to learn about the history of Bloody Sunday from someone who experienced it. And to see that, he is 94, about to turn 95.
My
and
Lord.
For him, it is important to still be a part of the movement and to continue to press forward. Now, Mr. Bland is a well-accomplished man. He owned the first black bank, I want to say it was in San Diego, California. He worked at the White House. He's done numerous things. But in his eyesight, we still don't have what we need yet. And he's not going to stop. And if at 94, almost 95, he's not going to stop, I can't even think of or even try to take a break. Because we have to make sure this democracy and justice that they were fighting for at that time happened. And it was a pleasure. He was a wonderful man, and he had great energy. And I hope that I'm blessed to have the fight and energy that he has at 94 when I'm 94.
Amen. And for you, Eldridge What was it like? You mean you mentioned the young people. You're looking at folks as young as 10, and then you got the foot soldiers. What was that experience like for you? The sweep of that room, all the amazing people who came. What did you think? How did that make you feel in that moment of sitting on that panel?
Being in a room with the original foot soldier was a powerful and just